Thank you for joining me for a little bit of somatics practice. Just lying down. See what you've got. Where is it tight? That's really the question. So I'm just going to lie here, and if it's comfortable for your shoulders, please have your hands behind the head and your elbows out to the side. Just notice, is there a tension in the front of the body? As you take some breaths into different parts of the front, your own breathing pace. Maybe breathe into the middle of the body, the low abdomen, just gently push against. Is that resistant? Breathe into the middle. Is there like a cinch around your body? Is it tight? Breathe the upper chest, just soft, very soft. Out of those three options, upper, middle, and lower, where does your system say that's easy? Okay? Where is it more constricted? We're going to use the constriction of the breathing as our hint, our clue to find some of these hidden holding patterns that we get stuck in. What is sort of the emotional state of while you're in bed? Do you find stuff to worry about? Do you have positive thoughts? Is that the overwhelming experience of when you're lying there in bed at night? Or are the thoughts worrisome? And if they're worrisome, we know for sure that we need to get that front to relax. That's the experiment that you get to do. When you're in bed and you sense those thoughts, okay, can you notice that? And can you just try some of these somatics movements for the tight fronts? So, what if hands lifted the head just enough so that your low back is almost flat on the floor? And I'm going to adjust my shoulders a little bit so my back can get a little closer to the floor. Now, right there, where's the place that you could just hold up all day? It's strong. And where is it contracting? Can you find a little bit at low abdomen, middle abdomen, low ribs? And if you're a person with a really head forward posture, you could find very gently a little bit of that front neck, low neck. Hands are holding the weight of the head, most of the weight of the head. And we're just going to lower out of that really easily. I like lowering in little steps. Lower little steps. Because at every moment, as you unfreeze from that holding pattern, you're reminding your brain that you can relax out of that holding pattern. At any effort level of holding, you can relax a little bit more. Just resting. The gentle breath in, find the constricted spot in the front. Without even arching the back, the long breath in. Is it side ribs? Consider that, because as you curl up, those side ribs pull together, sort of like straps pulling the shoulders down toward your low back. Come into that. Okay. Curl up just the right amount and keep your low back sort of flat to the floor. The front has to do the opening. The front has to relax. It's just got to relax out of that holding. It's hard work to hold it. Well, the brain's like, okay, I got to relax out of this. All the way down, all the way down. Now, just notice how well that you're creating that curve in the upper torso of the body. How well does that curve flatten back out onto the floor in the next one? Is it resistant? Because I'm going to show you a trick to get it to open a little bit easier. So that gentle breath in, and the elbows come up a little bit, and the elbows push to the sky that lift the heavy head, that sinks the chest, and curl up. Low back is flat on the floor, adding a little bit of tension. Come down the abdomen. Okay. There you got it. And open out of that. In that line, can you see it carefully enough that you can see where it doesn't know how to open? As the spine slowly flattens out onto the floor. Low back stays right where it is. It doesn't have to arch up. The front has to open. Just notice if it's a little bit stiff, if it's resistant to flattening out. And obviously, the back of the neck is not going to touch, but Are you stuck in a hunch? The tensions that create that hunch are the tensions of the emotions of worry and fear and sadness and just needing a break. It's like the part of you that turns on when you feel withdrawal. It's just stress response. And the next one we're going to do, sort of think upper chest pulling through the body. Where does that upper chest pull down to? Does it pull down to low back? Does it pull through you down toward your pelvic floor, maybe right down into the center of the pelvis? Does it pull through the front of you toward your pubic ramus, the pubic bone? Let's see what we've got. Once you start to lift the head with the hands and elbows, just now look at which way is the chest moving. Where does it go? And just take it that direction. Pull it down into your body. Which way does it pull to the floor? Does it pull toward your feet? Does it pull through the body? Okay? Just opening easy. Take your time. Opening slowly. Just one vertebrae at a time touches down, really easy. And notice at the top, is it a little bit resistant? Okay, well, right where you are, if it's resistant, this is what we're going to do next. Right where you are, just roll over onto your side. Here we are. And the hands hold the heavy head. Lately I like to cup the back of my head with the upper hand and sort of hold the forehead. That lower hand, it's just got to go like that. Like even try that lower arm. It's just like that. It's like your arm wrestling, okay? And that arm, it's going to lift the head. So we're going to lift the head. And in a way, the hands lift the head and the shoulder pulls into the body. And I'm going to just lift both feet a little bit, just to sort of connect it. But pause there. We're doing the side bend. I have a lot of videos on the side bend. But find the beautiful places where you can push your body down into the floor. Where do you how firmly can you push against the floor? Where's your system best at pushing down? And open slowly out of that. It's easy. Easy, easy. Come out of that slow. 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 That's it. Now, if our sides are a little bit stuck, we're going to just keep doing the side bend a few times. If your side's a little bit stuck, well, it locks in the movement ability of the front and the back. So we can make a beautiful change in sort of opening the doorway for the front and the back just by clearing out the sides. Just easy, maybe breathe in. You could reach that leg down long. Long breath in and exhale, closing on up. I'm just going to lift both legs, easy. Break the rules. We're closing the side of the body. Which way? How does that shoulder pull down into the body? There we go. However your system likes to do it. If it's arching the back, well, arch the back. If your system wants to curl up in the side bend, curl up a little bit. Well, we're trying to free ourselves from these automatic patterns that the brain gets so good at running. It's easy. Now, as it opens, which place isn't opening? Take a little breath in against that place. That just needs a little encouragement on how to open. And just roll over onto your back. Okay, and compare the two sides. Basic practice. Front, back, and sides. Okay? We're doing front, sides, and back today. Here, side bend, side two. Just roll right over, right off the mat. Just roll over, and we're going to close on up. You could use that lower hand, but that's optional. But I'm thinking pulling the shoulder down into the body. Okay? And open easy out of that. Easy. Which place isn't opening? Look for what's opening. Compare that to the other parts of the line. Easy. Okay. For me, it's a little bit more the back. Front seems to be opening quite well. So as I come up into the side bend, I'm going to add that arch of the back. Which way do I push my tummy forward? Can you find that a little bit? If it's the back, if it's your front, curl up in front. Bring the forehead toward the knees a little bit to trigger that contraction of the front. Here I'm bringing the back of my head toward my back belt loop. Find the contraction, add a little bit of the back. And I'm just going to open out of that easy. And can I get that line to open? Really cat-like. Could reach on out a little bit. Oh yeah, that's so nice. We're just going to yawn it back and make it yawn. Where's the quiet place? Find the quiet place if you're doing that yawning like contraction. Just open easy out of that. Slow, slow. Could you take a gentle breath? Don't stretch it. It won't learn from a stretch. The stretch is going to mess things up. Let it learn to open and get long. Yeah, beautiful. And if you want to, I'm going to just do one more. This side needs a little bit of extra. I'm rolling back a little bit to maybe find this line. You can freeform it, okay? And I'm opening out of that easy. Slow, 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 slow. Gentle. Just rest on the fiber. Rest. Enjoy that longness. I'm not a very tall guy, but when I do my somatics, I feel so long. It's really a beautiful experience. How are you doing so far? Okay. We're just coming back, lying on our backs in the semi-prone position. So, gentle breath in. On the exhale, curling up. Curl just the right amount. You could pull the shoulders together. You can make it very upper chest. You could push your low back into the floor. Don't stretch the low back open, like you're tipping your tailbone up. Could even lift the feet up off the floor a little bit. Okay. We're going to lower down out of that. Are you in control of all of it? The descending effort, the diminuendo. How well does your spine open onto the floor now? Okay, just resting. Just one last time here. I'm gonna do the 4-leaf clover. The 4-leaf clover is elbows to the sky, but we're also pulling the knees in all toward the center. So it's a chance to find that folding crease of the groin. Just gentle. It doesn't have to be big. You could do the 4-leaf clover like that. You could curl it on up. Some people, they might be able to touch your elbows and knees, but we're not trying to do that. We're trying to find the experience of the hard-to-feel places in the front. Do it with gentleness and discernment. We're just closed up a little bit. And open slowly out of that. The knees open as the elbows open. Can your brain know where your knees are? Can it believe they open so beautifully out to the side? There you go. Easy open. Sort of rest right there. Enjoy that. That openness. I think we want to be open to the experiences of life. That's what we're trying to do. And let's do one just for the back here. I'm going to do the wishbone. I have a video on the wishbone, and I encourage you to watch it, but I'll try and give you the basic lesson of the wishbone. I'm going to keep my head up. It works a little better for the microphone, but here's the idea. You can keep both legs sort of stuck together like they're just Velcroed together. There's a strip of Velcro on the inside of each leg. And you could push, I'm going to push the elbow toward the camera, so you're going to push your right elbow down into the floor. As you roll both legs, and you're shining your back belt loop away from that elbow that's pushing into the floor. Okay, and relax slowly out of that. Now this isn't quite the wishbone yet. Okay. Come back till the pelvis is right resting on the floor. And I encourage you to do it just with your forehead on the back of the hands. Forehead on the back of the wrist. That's maybe a little softer on the forehead. You're pushing right elbow down, both legs roll. And it almost feels, if you go far enough, that upper leg is almost hovering over the lower leg. And even here, bend the knees, bend the knees. The feet help take it over a little further. And we're just going to roll. We're going to keep those knees bent. And just sit down really softly. Now we're thinking about the legs, but the legs aren't doing this movement. Okay, the torso's doing the movement. Now, if we want to make it the wishbone, bring the knees and the feet a little bit apart. Your right elbow pushes down as the torso begins to twist. It lifts the right hip and the right leg up off the mat, and they just tip over to the side. We're not trying to push our feet way back there. The rolling of the pelvis just rolls that whole sort of leg hip unit over to the side. And we're just going to lower down out of that. Easy, that diagonal. Let's try the wishbone. We're going to really look at it as torso. We're pushing right elbow down. That allows us to begin to twist. The legs tip over to the side, and I'm pulling that hip back over toward left elbow. Okay? The diagonal of the back is closed, and we're going to very carefully let the diagonal of the back open. Slow. Slow. Beautiful. Let that open. Let that relax open onto the floor. Let's do the other side. Your left elbow pushes down. That lets you take a little bit of weight off that left leg. The left leg is starting to float off the floor. And a little bit, I'm just pushing the front of my body into the floor. You're resting up on the front side of your right ribs. Okay? Lower down easy out of that. Slow, slow, don't stretch. It just relaxes down. It doesn't have to go that far. Don't make it get too long. Can it be a diminishment of effort all the way down? Feet could windshield wiper across to that other side. Okay. Your left elbow pushes down. Feet start to go to the right. Left leg hovers off the floor. Left leg, upper leg is hovering over the lower, twisting, and really push your body down. Push the torso forward into the floor to find the contraction of the back. And lower down out of that. There you go. Lowering easy out of that. Feet windshield wiper across. Okay. Forehead on the back of hands and just see what you've got. Rock the hips side to side. And roll over onto your back. Okay. What do you have? How is that? If you settle into that, are you with yourself as a relaxed person? Are you a relaxed person? Where is it on? Where is it still on? We did front of the body, sides of the body, back of the body. You could check it out. We're just going to twist a little bit. Bring your knees closer together. Feet are sort of close together. And arms are just out to your side or wherever they want to be really comfortably. And how about push your left arm and shoulder push down into the mat, which just helps the knees tip over. Your knees are tipping over toward the right. Just gently tip over and say, okay, if I just let that go and let the knees sort of rest there, is that free? We're going to push your right elbow and shoulder down into the mat, and the knees go all the way to the opposite side. Say, okay, is it stiff? Which way? Is it twist one way or the other? Just try it out. Which way twists better? Okay, we're just going to look at one diagonal to clean it up. For me, it's going this way is a little more resistant. You just check it out. The head could turn opposite the knees, and which way is your spine like not so good at twisting, okay? So as let the knees go over to the side where they're not so good at twisting, okay? Right here, that's it for me. And we're going to have that opposite hand behind the head. So just really gently, as that elbow starts to come up, those knees just come up a little bit. Okay? And we're going to open out over to the side. Just let that lengthen easy, give it a gentle lesson. Okay? If you wanted to, you can cross the legs so that lower knee, that ankle hooks over the upper knee. Okay? A little breath in. And just start to squeeze the air out. How does the exhale bring knees and closes the groin and brings the pelvis up into the body and the shoulders and the ribs lift that elbow and the head. The ribs pull into the body. Okay, that twisting diagonal of the front. Can the diagonal open? Can you relax out of that? We don't have to practice symmetrically. If you're not stuck in a symmetrical way, well, we don't have to practice in a symmetrical way. We're trying to get unstuck. The places that know how to open, they don't need that much teaching. It's the places that are stuck need a lot of reminder. We're closing on up and opening easy out of that. Let's go slow. Control all of it. Are you controlling the pace of the knees lowering? Controlling the pace of the elbow and shoulder lowering? There we go. Now, feet and knees are together. We're just going to twist one way and twist the other way and say, okay, are we more even? Are we more free? And how does the side you just practiced with, that diagonal, look how beautifully that opens. And say, oh man, really the side we didn't do needs a little bit of work, so we're going to do that. We're closing up that front diagonal. This movement I call sunrise, sunset. That's the knee part, plus the X of the front, that's sort of the upper part. And we're lowering down easy out of that. Just a quick, easy lesson. Gentle, gentle, slowly lowering until you're at rest. The breath in, this is the last one we're going to do. Really make it count. Closing on up, easy. Mm-hmm. Lowering slowly. Okay. Torso opens and twists. Beautiful. Okay, now reevaluate your twist. Nose could go opposite knees a little bit and say, okay, is that free? Where is it moving easily? Where is it not so easy to move? And you could practice in more detail and sort of wring that out a little bit. Wring that out a little bit. Make it a little more free. If you have a muscle tension problem, please consider contacting me. I might be able to help. My name's Eric Cooper, inspiresomatics.com. Blessings on your journey.